Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple NFL player props I like on Prizepicks this week for the conference championship games for the two games we have on Sunday. We got Ravens and Chiefs starting I think at 3 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday, and then after that game we've got the NFC championship game, 49ers and Lions. So two games on Sunday. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be watching these games. You probably are going to want some player props to maybe sweat out. And I've got two picks that I want to give out in this video, guys, that I do like. We are going to give out a play that I like from each game. So we'll talk about a play that I like in the Chiefs-Ravens game, and then we'll talk about a play that I like in the 49ers and Lions game. So two picks we're going to break down. Before we do talk through these two plays, though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, you can sign up, linked down below in the description, or just use that promo code NOAH when you sign up for Prizepicks, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. I do want to shout out Prizepicks because they do have a free square available right now. As you can see on the screen, Christian McCaffrey, his rush yards prop has been discounted down to 0.5. This is a pick you can get on Prizepicks. I think it's a $25 limit, so obviously you're not going to be able to bet a ton of money on this, but it's a $25 limit. You can use it as many times as you want, just until you reach that limit, that money limit. But you can pair any props you like with this, NFL, NBA, any sports you like. You can mix and match sports on Prizepicks, but definitely take advantage of that Christian McCaffrey free square while it is still available. And if you guys don't have an account over on Prizepicks, this is just another incentive to sign up right now. And again, if you do sign up and use that promo code NOAH, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. But before we talk through our Prizepicks plays, I do also want to shout out Sleeper, because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. If you guys don't have an account over on Sleeper, you can download the Sleeper app, sign up, make a deposit over there, get your first deposit matched up to $500 over on Sleeper when you use promo code NOAH. And just like Prizepicks, Sleeper, they do a lot of discounts, a lot of promotions throughout the week. For all new users, you do get a free square added to your account when you do sign up and make a deposit and use that promo code. So that's another incentive to sign up for Sleeper. You are able to win up to 100x your money over on Sleeper. On Sleeper, you can mix and match sports. You can do multi-sport entries. You can make up to an 8-pick entry. If you guys want to check them out, again, sign up, use that code NOAH over on Sleeper, and get your first deposit matched up to $500. But we've got two Prizepicks plays to talk about for these conference championship games on Sunday, and let's go ahead and break them down. So the first play we're going to take a look at, starting off in the Chiefs and Ravens game, the prop that I like in this game, we're going to be looking at Zay Flowers, and we're going to take a look at his targets prop. So on Prizepicks, you are able to take whether a player is going to go more or less than their targets. You don't have to bet on like receptions or stuff like that. And I like the targets prop here. 5.5 targets for Zay Flowers. I like him to go over this line. Now, his receptions prop is set at 4. I don't mind taking the over on that as well. As you can see, Flowers, he's gone over this in 2 out of his last 5 games. He did push last week. He finished with 4 receptions. Targets prop, he's gone over in 2 out of his last 5 as well. He did not push last game. So obviously he didn't push last game. He had 5 targets last week. So there's definitely a scenario where Flowers gets 5 targets but 4 receptions. Maybe he gets 5 targets and 5 receptions, but I think that's pretty unlikely. But if we just look at what Flowers has done this season in terms of his involvement, his target share, he's been one of the lead target guys on this Ravens offense. And if we just look at his targets lately, last week he did have 5 targets, but it's hard to look at last week because that was kind of a massive, I don't want to say a massive blowout, but the Ravens won that game very easily against the Texans. They won 34-10. Zay only had 5 targets in that game. And then the game before that against Miami that he played in, that was another game the Ravens won easily, 56-14. So a lot of the games this season where Zay Flowers has had low volume have just been because the Ravens have won big and they've been able to run the ball a lot in the second half, chew the clock. I don't think that's going to be the case here against the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs are obviously a very good team. The spread in this game is only 3.5, so it's expected to be kind of like a back and forth competitive game. And if you look at a lot of the games this season that have been decided between 7 to 14 points, a lot of their competitive games this year, Zay Flowers has seen big volume in those games. Against San Francisco, when they won by 14, Zay Flowers had 13 targets. When they won by 6 against the Rams, Zay Flowers had 10 targets. When they won by 10 against the Chargers, he had 8 targets. Against Cincy, they did win by 14. He had 4 targets in that game. They lost by 2 to Cleveland. He had 6 targets in that game. They won by 7 against Arizona, 7 targets in that game. So, like, as you can see, a lot of the games this season that have been, competitive games where the Ravens have not been able to just, completely, take the foot off the gas pedal and just run the ball a ton. A lot of those games where they've had to continue to throw the ball the entire game, we've seen Zay Flowers get 6 targets or more in those games. And if we look at Lamar Jackson's passing prop this week, like his pass attempts prop, Prizepicks currently has his pass attempts prop set at 29.5. So clearly the sports books are expecting a decent amount of pass attempts for Lamar this week. And if you look at games this season where Lamar has had at least 27 pass attempts, so like that's not even, assuming he throws the ball 30 plus times, which obviously would put him over his pass attempts prop this week. Even in the games where he's had 27 pass attempts, so 27 pass attempts or more, in those games, Zay Flowers has had 5, 10, 11, 8, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 13 targets. So there's only been one game this season where Lamar Jackson has had 27 pass attempts or more, and Zay Flowers has not had 6 targets in that game. And it was when he had, I think it was early in the season, like one of the first games of the season. It was week 2 against Cincinnati. Lamar, I think, had 27 pass attempts that week. Let me see real quick. Week 2 against Cincinnati, Zay Flowers had 5 targets. Lamar had 33 pass attempts in that game. But every other game this season where Lamar has had 27 pass attempts or more, Zay Flowers has had 6 targets or more in all those games except for one. So clearly when Lamar is throwing the ball more, when he's dropping back 28, 29, 30 times, when he's got close to 30 pass attempts, we can usually expect a good amount of volume for Zay Flowers. He has been their clear wide receiver 1 this season. And even though they will be getting back Mark Andrews this week, we don't really know what Mark Andrews' role is going to be. We don't know how much he's going to play. The books clearly are not expecting him to be fully healthy, or not fully healthy, but they're not expecting him to have his full workload. I would assume if Mark Andrews was fully healthy, he would not have a receiving yards prop of 32.5. His receiving yards prop would be like 55.5 if he was fully healthy. So clearly, he's not expected to be like full go here. Probably going to be on some sort of like snap count limit. And obviously if Mark Andrews is on a snap count, that's even better for Zay Flowers just to earn more volume. But what we're really banking on here is we're banking on the Chiefs keeping this game, competitive. The Ravens have to continue to put their foot on the gas pedal, air the ball out. And if that's the case, I think we got a very good chance of getting 6 targets from Zay Flowers. I know Lamar last week was running the ball a ton, like he had a ton of rushing yards last week. It seems like he does run the ball more in the playoffs, but still the books are expecting him to throw it a decent amount with a pass attempts line of 29.5. So that's what I like as our first play for Conference Championship Sunday. Zay Flowers more than 5.5 targets. And then the other prop that I like, going to the 49ers and Lions game, we're going to take a look at a Jahmyr Gibbs prop. And the Jahmyr Gibbs prop that I like this week is more than 22.5 receiving yards. So the Lions, they're going to run a two-man kind of committee at running back with Dave Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. We did see Craig Reynolds get some snaps last week, which kind of was weird. Craig Reynolds did play 6 snaps last week, but for the most part, I think we should expect mostly all the running back snaps to be split up between Gibbs and Montgomery. And Montgomery, he really benefits when the Lions are playing with a lead, when they're just running the ball to kill the clock. That's usually when Montgomery is getting a lot of snaps. However, when the Lions are playing from behind, that sets up much better for Jahmyr Gibbs because Jahmyr Gibbs is the better pass-catching running back. He's the guy that they will use a lot in the passing game, whereas Montgomery, they don't really use him much in the passing game at all. And this is a game on the road as 7-point underdogs where the Lions are expected to be playing from behind here. I mean, the 49ers they've been so good this season. Like, they've been a tough team to stop. I think the Lions will keep this game close. I don't know if the Lions will win outright, but I think they will. I don't think they're going to get blown out or anything. But this does project to be a game where the Lions are likely playing from behind. And in those type of game scripts, those set up very well for Jahmyr Gibbs, especially when it comes to his pass game involvement. Jared Goff, he will check the ball down plenty to Jahmyr Gibbs. We saw him do that a lot in the game last week against Tampa Bay. In that game against Tampa Bay, Jahmyr Gibbs, he did have 4 catches for 40 yards. The game before that against the Rams, he had, I think, 4 catches for 43 yards. He's going to be involved a ton in the passing game when the game script sets up for it. And this is a game where, again, the game script does set up for it. Now, I know against Minnesota, he didn't have any catches that week. Against the Cowboys, he didn't have any catches that week. But for the most part of the season, you've seen Jahmyr Gibbs consistently get, 3, 4, 5 targets a game. He's been so explosive this season. Like, when he gets the ball, man, you expect him to just get a ton of yards. Like, I don't know what his yards per carry is this year on the ground, but like last week against Tampa Bay, he had 9 carries and he had 74 yards on 9 carries. He had 4 catches and he was able to get 40 yards on only 4 catches. Like, he's been so explosive with the ball in his hands. He could only get like 2 or 3 catches on Sunday, and that could still be enough for him to go over 22.5 receiving yards with how efficient and explosive he's been with the ball in his hands. And if we do look kind of at sportsbooks and what they're projecting Jahmyr Gibbs for, so right now on DK Sportsbook, they have this line set at 23.5 and juiced towards the over, minus 130 favoring the over on 23.5 receiving yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. On Prizepicks, we can get the line at 22.5. And on Pinnacle, one of the sharpest sports books, if not the sharpest sports book, Pinnacle also has Jahmyr Gibbs over 23.5 receiving yards, minus 130. So sports books are pretty heavily favoring the over on 23.5 receiving yards for Gibbs. The line is at 22.5 right now on Prizepicks. So I like this play quite a bit, taking Jahmyr Gibbs over or more than 22.5 yards on Prizepicks. I have a pretty good feeling this line's going to get bumped at some point. Hopefully you guys are able to get it in at 22.5. If it does get bumped, you could maybe look at some of his other props. Like, I don't even mind taking the over on 3.5 receptions. But like I said, Gibbs, he's so explosive when he has the ball that, like, he could only get 2 catches, but he could still get 23 yards on 2 catches. If he gets 4 catches, I feel fairly confident he's going to have 23 yards. But I don't mind taking the over on 3.5 receptions either. But I think the value right now is definitely with the receiving yards at 22.5. I like a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs props this week. I think Gibbs is going to be involved a ton. He's just been so good. I don't even mind taking his fantasy score because he's been able to score touchdowns. And obviously for fantasy score, you get a lot of points for those touchdowns. He had a big game in terms of fantasy points last week. So yeah, pick what you want, but I like over 22.5 receiving yards the most for Jahmyr Gibbs this week. I think that's the prop that offers the most value right now. But these are technically 2 props, I guess. Obviously, the free square, you're going to want to use that if you don't have an account on Prizepicks yet. But the 2 props I really like this week are Zay Flowers, more than 5.5 targets, and Jahmyr Gibbs, more than 22.5 receiving yards. If you guys are going to tell me on these 2 picks, let's hopefully make some money this Sunday. I hope you guys all enjoy the games. I will be making more NFL content for the Super Bowl. Obviously, the Super Bowl won't be happening until like 2 weeks from now. But this won't be my last NFL video. I'll definitely have an NFL Prizepicks video posted for the Super Bowl. Probably, like a couple days before the game starts or something like that. But be on the lookout for that. Obviously, I'm still uploading NBA content all throughout the week as well. MLB starts up in a few months. When MLB starts up, I'll try and pump out some MLB content as well. So even though the NFL season is kind of winding down, we're still going to be pumping out a ton of Prizepicks content on this channel. So make sure, again, you guys hit that subscribe button. If you have not yet, hit that like button as well. I do appreciate the likes as always. And again, if you guys don't have an account over on Prizepicks, you can sign up, linked down below in the description, or just use that promo code NOAH. When you do sign up for Prizepicks, get your first deposit matched up to $100. But good luck this week, guys. Thanks for watching the video as always and supporting the content. Appreciate you guys a ton. We'll see you in the next one.